Good evening, family, and all praise to our Father, the Almighty Creator. Ezekiel 38. Is it really happening? Are our enemies, the nations, doing what they're doing to Iran to trick people into believing Ezekiel 38 is kicking off right now? We know the nations all mingle with each other, enemy or not. They buy food from each other, they trade goods with each other, they visit each other's nations, and it goes on and on. They've been preparing for this moment for thousands of years. Is Ezekiel 38 really happening? What does our scripture read? What are you going to believe? The enemy, the nations, who've lied and misled us from day one? Or are you going to believe the words of the Almighty Creator? Ezekiel 38, 1 through 14. And the word of the Almighty Creator came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face toward Gog, of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Almighty Creator, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee about, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed most gorgeously, a great company with buckler and shield, all of them handling swords. Persia, Cush, and Put with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, and the uttermost parts of the north, and all his bands, even many peoples with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou, and all thy bands. Let me start over. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou guarded of them. After many days thou shalt be mustered for service. In the latter years thou shalt come against the land that is brought back from the sword, that is gathered out of many peoples, against the mountains of Israel, which have been a continual waste. But it is brought forth out of the peoples, and they dwell safely, all of them. Okay? Are the fake Jews dwelling safely in the land they're currently occupying? No. They're being bombed from the Gaza Strip almost daily. 9. And thou shalt ascend. Thou shalt come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many peoples with thee. Thus saith the Almighty Creator, It shall come to pass in that day that things shall come into thy mind, and thou shalt devise an evil device. And thou shalt say, I will go up against the land of unwalled villages. I will come upon them that are at quiet, or at peace, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates. So where's this place that people are dwelling safely right now, without walls and having neither bars nor gates? It doesn't exist right now. Why? Because the Almighty Creator hasn't gathered his people yet. 12. To take the spoil and to take the prey, to turn thy hand against the waste places that are now inhabited. The waste places that are now inhabited, and against the people that are gathered out of the nations, that have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the middle of the earth. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the magnates thereof, shall say unto thee, Comest thou to take the spoil? Hast thou assembled thy company to take the prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take great spoil? 14. Therefore, Son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, Thus saith the Almighty Creator, In that day when my people Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it? Who are the people that are gathered out of the nations? Are the Almighty's people, Israel, dwelling safely, or are we still being held captive across the globe? 15. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the uttermost parts of the north, thou and many peoples with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company, and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people Israel as a cloud to cover the land. And it shall be in the end of days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the nations may know me, when I shall be sanctified through thee, O Gog, before their eyes. So family, by listening to the scripture I just read, is Ezekiel 38 happening right now? Ask the Almighty Creator, your Father. If I'm wrong, then please leave me a comment, because I don't dare lead my people astray. As always, family, fear your Father, the Almighty Creator. Separate from those that are not you. And all praise to our Father, the Almighty Creator. Have a beautiful evening, family.